Okay, so very good evening. Myself, Dr. Ajay Kumar Koli. I am founder and executive director of SARA Institute of Data Science. I welcome all of you and our today's speaker, Mr. Abraham George. And Abraham is a master's student of brain sciences in UK, in UCL, University College of London. And few months back, he approached me that he can help our participants, SARA students, to prepare a professional CV because most of the time when our students prepare or like apply for foreign universities especially, they always in doubt how to present themselves in a proper way or in a professional way. So then we agreed ki, yes, let's do this session, and I'm very happy today with some participants as well with our speaker Abraham. So Abraham, now over to you, and this session is recorded, so and it will be later available also on the SARA YouTube channel. And if let's go through like this. Initially, Abraham will present and give you guidelines about the CV, and then after that, you can introduce yourself with your name and your level of education, so that we have your better understanding. What do you do? So that the presenter can give you the suggestion for your CV accordingly, and then you can ask your query. If you cannot unmute and you cannot speak, then you can put your query in the chat box also. And as Abraham suggested, it will be an interactive session, so that after like 20-25 minutes, a presentation from Abraham's side. After that, I guess the platform will be open for the interaction, and then you can ask your personal queries as well. So, Abraham, is it okay?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay,
great.
now over to you.
Yeah. So as I said, I don't have any slides that I want to present. So what I would start with is I'm going to be sharing a link to a Google Doc right now. Let me just get it. I hope everyone can see the messages. So uh, if you are on your phone or on your laptop, I suggest that you open the Google link and either create a copy of it on your own Google Doc app or just download it onto your laptop. Please don't make any changes to the Google Doc that I shared right now. And it'll be great if someone can, unmute and, like keep talking to me so I know like people are engaging with it. Otherwise, it just feels like I feel like I'm staring at a bunch of names.
Yes, good, good. We are there. Yeah.
Cool. I hope everyone has opened their Google Docs.
Yes, we are able to see it.
Great, great, great. So, in that case, for the most part, I've written everything down that you need to add. I will also share my screen because can everyone see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Great. So this is your basic meat and potatoes CV. This is how it's going to look. And again, making a CV is not a precise science. So according to where you are in your career stage, what type of CV you want, this is all going to keep changing. So I want you to keep it in mind. There is no right way to do it, but there are things which people obviously do which are in the norm. So we'll also talk about that a bit. So for the most part, obviously you give your name, your phone number, email address, and again, if you have socials and if it's relevant to your subject, then give your socials in. So I wouldn't give my Instagram account because I am not applying for a social media post, right? I would rather give them my LinkedIn account. So you have to be um, discerning about these sort of things. And again, when you're making your CV, keep that in mind. So the first part is going to be a summary, the standard summary section, and an academic summary section. So you don't really have to think a lot while you're writing a summary. You can even ask any AI to write it for you because it's just 3, 4 words, just so that the recruiters can read it and understand, hey, this is the person, this is what I have done, this is what I know. So it's a really quick rundown. Uh, you don't have to like particularly write any sort of beautiful prose while you're writing this sort of summary. So I will go through one summary section. So here, I'll go through the academic summary section because I think that's what everyone wants to work on. Am I right in thinking that? Um, Mayuri, Naveen, Anjali, are you guys all interested in academic or standard CV?
It will be helpful if participants can unmute and I guess they can speak or they can give emoji reactions. I think that will be helpful.
Yeah, emoji or
Yes,
even
emoji. You
yeah,
can give thumbs up, so that if you
yeah,
want to say yes,
yeah.
yeah, that will help.
Okay, great. So academic CV. Okay, Kajal says academic CV. Anyone else? Okay, it's just Kajal. Okay, cool. Um, now, um, again, so the first sentence is going to be, what is your research identity? So you can be a sociologist, you can be a neuroscience researcher like me, you can be a data scientist. So uh, the first sentence is going to be a condensation of everything you've done. So um, mine would go something like, my name is Abraham George. I am a neuroscientific researcher currently doing my MRes in brain sciences at UCL. Um, and then again, since we're talking about academics, you then move on to your interest. What are your interests? And this is very different from what are you working on. So your research interests can be, again, for me, my research interests lie broadly in computational psychiatry and perception. Um, so that's what I would write. So um, I am interested in computational psychiatry and perception, uh, investigated through neuroimaging techniques. So that would be, again, uh, my research interest. And I'm hoping everyone in this call is editing the CV as we are going along with it. So in that way, at the end of the session, you will have a ready CV in your hand. Um, I, so the next part would obviously touch upon your sort
Uh,
of
I
skills.
think I need to interrupt here. We do not have
Yes.
access to edit the file. I think you need to open.
Sorry.
We don't have
Oh,
access to edit the file. So when I'm trying to make any changes, it's not allowing.
it's not. So I think I said that in the beginning, it'd be best if you can make a copy of this on your
Oh,
own
okay. Okay.
Google Doc
Okay.
or
Okay.
just download it.
Okay.
So
Okay. It makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, so that way I can use this for. Anyways, or you can just copy paste it also to another Google Sheet and it works fine. Um, Again, I don't know what skills or analysis methods or research techniques that the people in this meeting is familiar with, but whatever it is, again, point that out and broadly give an idea about how many years of experience you have. And if this is your first um, sort of CV, make sure it comes out that whatever you like or whatever you worked on, all your projects shine through in this like really small part. So this is your hook so that your recruiter or your academic supervisor wants to like read through more. Again, I think the rest of it is quite basic. Your college name, your degree. So uh, college would be what? UCL. It's in UK. Degree is MRes in brain sciences. Sorry. And then uh, from what, September currently. And yeah, Same thing here. And the best way I do it is this your latest has to be up first. And as you go down, you keep mentioning the other degrees you have. So this is going to be my MRes. If I'm writing, my MSc is going to be here. And underneath that, you're going to have your bachelor's. Again, a point to note, if you have a bachelor's and a master's, you don't have to like really include your 12th grade marks. No one cares about your 12th grade marks. If you're in your bachelor's, I guess it sort of makes a difference. Maybe add it there, maybe take it there. It's up to you, your own volition. Again, coming down, it's scholarships and awards. If you have been awarded anything, write it down. Otherwise, you can like select this whole thing and delete it. Um, I know in universities in India, if you get really high grades in your first semester and second semester, they give you a certain amount of scholarship amounts. You can write all of that in this section so that they know like you've been awarded, you've been recognized for your academic excellence. So make sure nothing is too small, especially when it comes to an academic CV, nothing is too small. Now, again, I primarily work in academia and research. So I've split my work experience into like research experience and general work experience. So research experience would include researchers, like jobs like research associate or like research assistant roles, even some lecturer roles might come in here, depending on if I do work in a lab. So that goes in here. Um, Again, give information as much as you can, especially who your PI is. If you are working under a postdoc and a PhD, write their names also. And like name dropping is really important. I think it's obvious that merit is a made up myth. I think all of us can agree on that, and everything moves through contacts. So make sure you always name drop your professors and the people you work with because that will open a lot of doors. So, so that's really important. Coming down to what you're going to write under all of this depends on what you're applying for. If you're applying for a industry facing role that focuses on data science, make sure you highlight that. If you're applying for a research lab role, make sure you highlight why you would be good in that particular role. So all of this comes down to your own personal nitty-gritties and how you carry yourself. Again, coming down back again to work experience. So a lot of my work experience has been working as a consultant and also as a teacher in various schools. So that's what I would put here. Um, Again, the only reason I've kept these there is so that my CV doesn't have long breaks in between. Um, I do come from a non-traditional background in terms of how I've got into the space I am right now. So I did my bachelor's in journalism, but now I'm doing neuroscience. So um, I've been around quite a lot. So that's why I usually keep my work experience as a second part. So people know, okay, he hasn't taken any sort of big breaks. There's no like huge career gaps. Um, that's the only reason why it's there. And if you don't have it, and if you want your whole um, timeline to be correctly pointed out, okay, I was a teacher here, then I was a consultant, then I did research, that's fine. Again, you can just delete this whole thing and then just put work experience. What I wouldn't change is make sure you always write about your projects, because again, coming from neuroscience or biology or even data science, the sort of projects you do is how you show that you're competent. So make sure you always leave areas for your projects, and uh, you can put that together with your research experience part. But at the end of the day, again, it's up to you how you want to draft that. Again, skills, uh, it's best to sort of segregate your skills into like broad strokes: academic research, teaching and academic support, scientific communication, and data science. So these are the four areas which I primarily worked in. So scientific research would be what types of experimental techniques you're using. Teaching and academic support would be what type of methods do you use? What's your teaching philosophy? What apps have you used to teach? What other academic software are you know to use? Things like that. Scientific communication and administration, again, it can be a lot of fluff at the end of the day. It can be uh, confident, on time, punctual. It can be stuff like that. At the same time, it can also uh, uh, sort of showcase how well you are at prose writing or how good you are at scientific dissemination. So all of these need backing also. So again, depending on the job you apply for, they will ask you to back all of this. So try not to lie. Like, don't lie on your CVs. You can get creative with what you have, but don't lie. Again, data science, what sort of packages are you using, like PyTorch, stuff like that, that goes in. Languages, again, depends on the country you're applying to. If At the end of the day, it's always good if you have like an IELTS score or a TOEFL score to like show, okay, I've done the exam, but you have to take it like every 2, 3 years to like prove you don't lose your English, which is just bollocks if you ask me. Um, but yeah, that's so English would be the first thing that's there. Then you can put your native language, your first language, second language, and it goes down. Certificates and projects, again, should be self-explanatory. It can be NPTEL, it can be like a PG certificate, whatever it is. Something I see a lot of people do is send like all their awards and all their certificates along with the CV. Don't do that. I don't think most uh, uh, HR departments are really looking for that. They will ask you what they want. So I always add this last bit at the end, that it's to the extent of my knowledge, and any relevant information will be shared upon request. Always have two again, two academic, um, like two academic people like you can talk to, you can reach out to as references, because academic references and then work references are something a lot of these people ask for. So it's always good to have two academic references and two work references in your back pocket. So for me, that's probably my professors from undergrad. I have one professor who I always text whenever I need some help with a recommendation. And there's another person from my master's who I reached out for. So always try to build that connection with your professors, especially if you're planning to stay on in academia, because like I said, it really doesn't matter like what you know. What matters a lot more is the sort of networks you have. So always try to build that connection with your professors. I think that's it. We went through the whole thing. Um, I don't know if everyone was typing and editing this as we were going through this. If you've done that, thank you. If you haven't, try to do that in your free time. I'm just gonna stop sharing. Um, and yeah, now we can have any sort of questions, and I'll do my best to like answer it.
Okay. Yes. I am watching the chat here. So anyone of you have any questions for the speaker, and you can put your question in the chat, or if your surroundings are quiet, you can unmute and you can speak as well. So both way you can ask your queries.
Would really prefer if, like someone spoke, because I've been hearing my voice a lot. So
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, Yamini here. So
Oh,
my
yes,
question is
Yamini.
like, yeah. So my question is how to cover career gap in CV. I have been working as a manual tester for 8 years, but since November 2023, I left my job and I'm in a career break since then. So how to put it in CV?
Okay, that's a really good question. So, may I ask why you took the career gap? Like in a lot of spaces now, a career gap is sort of acceptable, to be fair. And as long as you're vocal about it and you explain why you took that career gap, it shouldn't be a huge problem. Um, so a lot of the gaps that I see are mostly because of financial troubles back home, because people can't work in another city and take care of their parents. So if it's stuff like that, I think most companies would understand. Again, if you're in academia, I don't think this is an issue at all. As long as you have, the relevant um, skill sets to back it up, I think it shouldn't be a problem in academia. And another thing, what I would say is, so I'm guessing, do you work in a sort of technical job? Is it quite technical?
It's my work mostly was into manual testing only, not too much of technical, but I had worked as a lead also for a few years, like around 3+ years in one of the organization. MNCs
Okay,
moved to the post. Yeah.
okay. Um, so I think in such cases, since you don't have to like keep updating because you're not in a software job, I think it should be fine, quite fine. Again, I think the general problem a lot of us are facing is because the uh, jobs are quite difficult right now, and I don't think it's the career gap or it's your problem. It's just that the whole economy is quite down, and I think that's why you sort of feel this friction where it feels like, oh, my CV isn't going places. But I think it should be fine as long as you are vocal about it and you can sort of justify why you took that career gap. I think it should be completely fine. I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thanks. That helps.
Yeah. Any other
Just one
questions?
question is in the chat box, so I am reading for you, Abraham. So
Yeah.
the question is, I have question. I am biology UG student. So in lab we use lot of laboratory equipment, so that skills can be mentioned on CV. For example, if I know how to use PCR, so can we tell that in the CV if you have some technical lab skills?
Yeah, yes, definitely. These are things you should add, especially in your project section, how you use PCR for what you used PCR, and then you can bring it down into the skills section. Also, you can just write broad strokes PCR. If you go to uh, the CV format which I've shared, I think what the best thing to do is under the project section, make sure you thoroughly write what projects you worked on and how you used each of your skills, right? If it's PCR, if it's something else, tissue culture, whatever it is, you make sure you write it, you explain your project really well, explain why you've used it, and then under the skills section, you can put a section called laboratory skills and just write PCR, tissue culture, XYZ, XYZ. So these are things you have to mention. Yeah, I hope that is answered.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Kajal. You're muted, sir.
If you have few more questions or and see, please don't overthink the questions. If you have any questions in general about the CV making, or like say today a lot of CVs are filtered with the help of AI, So if you have a worry about that, or the technology, what kind of role plays in CV, and which tool is good for making CV, these are different questions which comes in my mind at least, right? So
I think there's another question from Naveen.
yes,
I'm pursuing
from
Masters of Social Work in HR and IR. And I have a question that in which order we should mention our academic qualifications. So your highest academic qualification comes first. So your master's and then your bachelor's. If you have two masters, again, depends on which one you completed first. But again, I do understand we might need to sort of highlight different aspects of ourselves. If I am planning to go back into journalism at some point in my life and I'm making a CV, I wouldn't keep my MRes in brain sciences as my first degree or my MSc in cognitive science as my first degree. I would highlight my bachelor's in journalism as my first degree. So these are things you have to identify yourself because it is very context specific to what you have, to what problem you're facing. So that is up to you. Um, but in general, pro assuming that you're not making a big shift in your career, it's always the latest degree and then following underneath. So master, MSc, bachelor's. And then, yes, this one page thing. The, as a rule of hand, it'll be great if you can make a one-page CV and like a longer CV. I have both with me. And again, it depends on what they've asked. There are a lot of companies that specify we only want a one-page CV. Then there are companies that just want a CV and you can send your longer CV there. If you just finished your bachelor's, or if you just finished your bachelor's and master's one after the other, right, and you don't have a lot of experience, there is no way in the world you're going to have a 2 or 3 page CV, right? Max you're going to get is 1.5 pages long. So you have to be very conscious about that. So don't add unnecessary things. Only add the things that you want. You can always tighten your CV up using AI because a lot of people do it. AI is being used to select which CVs work and which CVs don't work. So again, it's completely all right to use AI to like sharpen your CV up. I hope I answered that, Naveen. Yes. Any other questions?
If we have some more questions, we can unmute and you can ask a question or you can type in the chat box your question, right? And that is, very handy. We should always ready with the two types of CV, one page as well as detailed, because it is a requirement of the person,
Yeah.
and again, if you feel that the person is not asking, you can ask like what kind of a CV they need. But
Yeah.
the good thing is we should ready with both of them actually, single page as well
Yeah.
and the detailed
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. You can always take like a weekend to like do this and it gets over quite fast, especially if you have a format already. It's just typing in details. It does get quite boring after the point,
Mhm.
but it is completely fine. Just like get it out of the way and you can just keep it on. What I do is I keep it on Google Docs. So whenever I see um, a particular like job opening, if it's for a research assistant and they want it in psychology, I go back to my CV, like tweak everything so it fits psychology rather than neuroscience. So I do a lot of behavioral neuroscience work. So I can sort of like it's sort of this creative engineering where I tweak it so that it sounds like psychology enough and then I apply. Right. I am not lying about my skills. I'm not lying about, my interest in the job. All I'm doing is tweaking so that they think I'm a better fit. And this is what you have to do, and this is the truth of the world. So it's always good to have your CV, one ready CV. Can CV on Google Doc? Okay, so I personally prefer Google Doc, and there's something called latex. I'll just type it out. Um, so it's sort of this professional format, and I think latex is the best thing. You need to like know a little bit of coding, to be honest, to do latex, but you can just once you've made your CV on Google Doc, just save it to your laptop, upload it to Claude, and ask it to make like a latex format for the CV, and Claude will make a really good latex format, and then you can just fill with it in your own time, and it works. And I think personally, I think latex is the best. But again, Google Docs is what I use. Um, the thing with a lot of these, like the thing with Canva is, once you go in there, you have so many options, you have so many colors to choose from. You have this design and you have that design. Um, it, it, I don't think anyone's looking for a pretty CV. Like the importance is not pretty, it's information. And all you have to make sure is like they don't get fatigued looking at all the information. Um, I am a third year BTech undergrad student. I don't have any experience as far apart from a single internship. So shall the experience section be included? Yes. Um, what do you mean by ATS? Yashasvi?
Yeah, and I'm listening first time.
Oh, like a applicant tracking system. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Yeah. So let me just read. So basically, at the end of the day, I think it's all about like tweaking it for your particular job at the end of the day. So depends on what you're applying for and um, the sort of role you're applying for. So a lot of AIs basically look for keywords, and in every job descriptions, they are going to be keywords which they will look for that match your CV. So make sure you just like make have those word keywords in it. So it's very easy for you to like apply for jobs and stuff. So it's just before it gets to like a human recruiter, this is what does. And that's why I said make sure like you can always tighten your CV with the help of AI. You can look at the job and then add in keywords that you think are missing for each job. So it does tend to get extremely tiring after the point, especially if you're applying for multiple jobs. But again, you have to like keep going at it and then small changes. Again, uh, don't lie in your CV. Just make sure you're changing keywords that are still relevant. You're just modifying it to fit the job role. I hope that answers it. Apart from a single internship. No, the third year and having an internship is still great. The experience section you can add, like you've interned, that is really good. Is there an aid to check our compatibility and do we need frequent change according to company profile? Um, yes. So, like I said, each company is using AI to like grade your CV. So for each job you apply for, you have to like keep changing your CV a bit. You need to keep tweaking it a bit. Um, there is nothing you can do to like not do that. And is there any AI you can use? You can just use like ChatGPT or Claude like that. There isn't anything specific I use. Just use the tools that you have in the best way possible. Um, I hope I applied all your questions to Yashasvi. I don't have any work experience so far, though I'm a PhD student in philosophy. How can I create a good enough CV then? Um, Anjali, so first of all, what I would suggest is look at what jobs you want to apply for, right? So being a PhD student, you have a PhD student in philosophy, you have a certain number of skills. It might be normative thinking, it might be something else, Uh, PhD equips you with a certain set of skills, whether it's in the social sciences or in uh, medical sciences or in the hard sciences, right? So I would ask you to like think about what are your skill sets and um, look for jobs in that. So um, it can be along the lines of like off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, but I know like a lot of companies are looking for ethicists. So AI ethicist is a job that's there, which I think you might be good for. So look up the profile of a usual AI ethicist. What have they done? What sort of work they do? What sorts of skill they do? And if you don't have those skills, I would suggest doing like some short courses or like training yourself online. If you look into YouTube, I'm pretty sure you'll find a lot of resources where they train you for free. And then off of that, you can just make a CV once you have the required skills. And again, you will have to like show it to them at some point that you have these skills. So yeah. Uh, you can add those, especially if you are um, so this is for Kajal volunteering and participation certificate of different biology. Yes, you can add that in your CV, especially if you're in your like initial stage, you're in your bachelor's, you just started your master's. I think that's fine. After a point in your academic series, I wouldn't add certificates where you just attended. I would add if I gave a talk or if I presented a paper. So I think that's fine when you're starting out, but later on, that's something you take out of your CV. So the CV should technically grow with you. Any other questions?
I was having another question.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, sure.
which file format shall we use while, PDF format or the Word
PDF,
format?
PDF, PDF, PDF. So make
And
it in a Word format and then export it as a PDF doc.
and like usually, like we write about us in the first paragraph shall be about us. So shall we always include that paragraph, or like it is okay to just skip off that paragraph and move on to the
You
skills
you can
paragraph?
skip it. You can skip it if you want. I usually keep it in my CV. I just like it, I guess, because it gives like a really quick rundown. If they don't want to read the whole thing, it gives them an idea of what I've done, um, in what 5, 6 years of like working. So I always keep it there regardless it's an academic or a corporate CV. Uh, that's always there. But I do keep changing that first paragraph according to what job I apply for. So the CV keeps changing. And even in the Google Doc I shared, there's two, I've labeled one as standard and one as academic. So the standard format goes for corporate jobs and the academic format goes for academic positions.
Okay. And shall our CGPA or the percentages what we got in the previous years,
Okay,
shall it be
listen.
included?
Um, depends. If you have a really good CGPA and you really want to show your CGPA, go for it. Um, I don't keep my CGPA because it's nothing to brag about. But there are people who keep their CGPA even if it's low. Again, it's up to you. Again, people don't really care about your CGPA as long as you have the skills. So again, depends. On your academic CV, I guess they might be looking for CGPA sometimes, and they will always mention these things, like if they want CGPA or not. Um, this is something I do. Like personally, I don't care about CGPAs, so I'd never include them unless it's asked for. Did that answer your question? Hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
I was asking like whatever achievements we had in the past, like from the maybe from the schooling or in the college, any competitions we participated, and for
Mhm.
example, we won it. So shall it be included?
Um, Again, depends. So let's say um, you're applying for an HR job and you were in charge of your college fest, right? You were also like in charge of, you were one of the council heads and you were in charge of the administration and the overlooking and the marketing of that. If you're applying for an administration slash marketing role, that works, right? But if you're applying for a technical job where you're working as a computer scientist, that is not important. So it's up to you uh, to make the call to add it or not. For the most part, if it's not relevant, I wouldn't add it. And prizes you won in school, don't add it at all. I don't think it's relevant or important. No one cares about what happened in school. Obviously, if those are skills you've carried over, it will show in your college life also. So
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
yeah. Any other questions? I think that was it. Oh, yeah. What is it?
Do we have more questions? Okay, I guess we are good. So, so I guess is it okay then, Abraham? Right?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll just tell everyone if you
Yeah.
guys are on LinkedIn, or you can always shoot a message. I am Abraham George on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
So if you find me and send me a connection request and drop me a text, I will always reply. So yeah. And if you guys want help applying to EU or UK, again, drop a text. I wouldn't mind sitting down with you and talking about SOPs, how to like structure those also. Um, Again, this is something I do for free that there's no money involved. So yeah, if you guys need any sort of help, again, one text away. Just want to put that out. Yeah.
That's awesome of you, Abraham. Thank you. And SOPs plays very important role when you apply for fellowships.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
every student should give sufficient time and
Yeah.
when they're to CV and SOPs.
Yes. CV and SOPs are like really important. SOPs, I think, are more important than CVs at the end of the day. Yeah.
So I guess no more questions in the chat and no more questions from the participant side. So thank you so much, Abraham. And it is first time meeting you on
Yeah.
as a mentor for the participants. So thank you so much, and I hope we'll continue this in coming days as well.